Kirk's Law Corner, August 3rd, 2026. On to the next month. Here we go. The next fun stuff coming out. Let's see here. Saying hi to everybody over here on Telegram. Paint Guns Booty, Ralph, Wendy, JPC5. Everybody that's joined so far. Diesel D's, I know you're in there hanging out. And Lee Munson, good to see you. Eagle Freedom. What else we got here? Okay. That's it. Palindrome, there you are. Okay, good to see you. And over here on Rumble, we got Karen, Jacqueline, Mark, all caps false prophet. Good to see you guys. And nobody out on Facebook or YouTube yet making any comments, so I can't see those yet. So, good evening, folks. Man, it's been some crappy weather here, let me tell you. I mean, it's at least been a little bit cooler the last, 2 days, but we've been hanging around that 100-degree mark plus for the last week. And smoke. Ugh. Idaho is just on fire, so is, it's in Oregon, but it's a place called Jordan Valley. It's right there, kind of at the Idaho-Oregon border. And, yeah, it's a pretty big fire. A lot of that smoke is coming right over here into my local area. But we got fires all around me. Still got this fire up here, the fire out East Boise here. Oh man, fire! I mean, there's fires all over the place. I'd seen a fire up north. It's taken homes. So, man, bad fire season this year. And again, a lot of these are man-made, started fires. Hi, Doug, out there on YouTube. I see your comment there. You think you made it into Telegram? Are you in Telegram? Hazel Days, I don't see you in there. I think you made it into the to the page or group. But Jameskin, good to see you. And fire up there in Spokane, Washington. I don't know how close you are, Mark, to that. Pretty bad fire up there, right on the Washington-Idaho border. Oh, Lee. Liam Munson over here on Rumble if the government servants reading the contract they swore to defend and be in support of when taking the oath of office. Well, Lee, the reality here is that You do understand they basically overthrew the Constitution in 1871, right? With the Reconstruction Acts. They reconstructed government. And part of that was providing 19 essential governmental services until the people reassemble government de jure. So when are the people going to come together and claim and exercise their all political power that's inherent in the people, not in American state nationals, it's in the people. Because national as a noun did not exist and did not come into being until 1887, and it's only found in the United States Code, which is all Roman civil law. You know, one of those questions I've asked people that oh, I'm an American state national. Well, can you cite the law that says that? And every single one of them, none of them can cite law. There's like deer in the headlights. It's like, how are you claiming to be an American state national when you don't even know what the law is that says that? I mean, it's just freaking mind-blowing. Oh, thank you for your comment out there, Harold. Welcome on Facebook. Hi, Jeremy and Michelle and Yvonne. Good to see you guys. So back to Lee's question, there is, you know, this is one of the issues that they've just recently discovered, right? Is that none of them have legitimate oaths of office. Well, except for the military and U.S. Marshals and you know, that's isn't that strange? None of them have a legitimate oath of office. Isn't that weird? Mark makes a comment out here on Rumble that Governor Ferguson made an emergency here 1 hour before the fires started and already called in the National Guard. How do they do that before? Like, maybe it's planned? Wow. Even an emergency alert before the fire even started. Yeah. Talk about planned. Well, here's the thing, folks. We're at war. And like I said, it's not the traditional war. What we all think of what war is we're, you got two sides and they're on the battlefield and they're battling. It's not. It's a totally different kind of war. All Thank you, Wendy, for checking out there, making sure my audio video is working. Looks like we're not having any issues tonight so far. Knock on wood. Genevieve, good to see you. Election week. You guys are having elections in the middle of what? Yeah, right, Jameskin. It's an oath of office, a prerequisite to holding any office. It's Article 6, Clause 3. All of the members are required to be bound to support this Constitution. But again, it's all been de facto. It's all, in reality, Montesquieu defines it as a despotic government. You know, a lot of times we'll hear out there a de facto government, but in reality, it's called a despotic government. So, you know, the fundamental principle of the people, by the people, for the people. Where are the people? Does anybody see that issue there? We're missing the people. And in order to have lawful de jure government, we have to have the pool of the people first. Because it's from the pool of the people that we have what is known as qualified electors that are qualified to be elected to certain positions. So, you know, we all sit around and bitch and complain about how corrupt things are, but we don't want to do what's necessary and proper to reassemble government de jure. So, I mean, that's the root of the problem right there. So, and until we do the first step and peacefully assemble the people, how are we supposed to function as a government? Genevieve, okay. Let me ask you something about your oath of office. Does your oath of office say the United States, or does it say the United States of America? The United States is that corporation. So if your oath of office doesn't say the United States of America, it's not a legitimate oath, because there is no, I mean, a legitimate Constitution of the United States of America. There is no legitimate Constitution of the United States. So, I mean, if we're not gonna assemble the people, I guess we just get what we get. That's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, do we want legitimate government or not? I mean, shouldn't we want legitimate government, lawful government? If we want legitimate, lawful government, we're going to have to assemble the people. We have to do that first. It's the first step. And until we do the first step, I don't understand how we seem to think that we're going to be able to do anything. And until we do the first step, so anybody got any thoughts or ideas on that? Right, Doug? Okay. Here's a comment from Doug out here. We would much rather stay in the abusive relationship because we are used to it. You know, it's funny because I wouldn't say it's exactly funny, but Doug, did you know that the Declaration of Independence actually has something to say about that? In the Declaration of Independence, July 4, 1776, and it talks about here, and accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. This is where we're at, folks. You know, it's here it is, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. The right of all political powers inherent in the people. We have the right to alter, reform, or abolish anything at any time we deem it necessary. Wait a minute. But it says, but when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. So again, it's not just a right, it's a duty. So when are we going to perform our duties? Claim and exercise our rights and perform our duties. I just, I don't know. I don't know what else to do here, folks. I mean, I've tried. I've done everything that I could think possible to educate the people on this, what we're supposed to do here. I've been looking for all of this, that others that have been doing it, and everybody talks and talks and talks a good talk, but nobody wants to bring forth the law that says we're doing this because we're following this and this law. And it's just simple. We just assemble the frickin' people. The thing is, we already have what we call registered voters. So you've already declared that you're one of the people when you register to vote. And really, the census is the real place. But in today's timing, what we look at is are you a registered voter? If you're registered to vote, that's declaring that you're one of the people and that you live over here, that you're a resident. Right straight in line with the Law of Nations, Book 1, Chapter 19, Section 213. Well, good, Harold. Good to see that you're using a lot of stuff you've learned from me. I greatly appreciate that. I hope it's working for you. It's been working for other people who apply it, and getting their cases dismissed. It's a little bit of a battle. Might be a long, drawn-out battle. One of the recent ones, it took just over a year to finally got it dismissed. So it takes time with these guys because they're real reluctant to grant dismissals. But you keep on fighting and you can win. Well, Harold, I agree that it's a bit tricky to find the people who aren't still brainwashed, and right. The thing is we got to come together and start reading, because reading means reading, and we have to comprehend what the law is. Our rights are the law, right? I mean, it's right here in the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident. This is the common sense law. That all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. So, first and foremost, our rights are the law, and then we institute government to secure these rights, and we delegate certain powers by and through the Constitution. So we have a body of law known as the law of nature, where those rights come from God, from nature. And then we institute government through a constitution. And we say, hey, you guys have these powers. This is our form of government. And we got a legislative branch, we have an executive branch, and then we have a judicial branch. And you're all required to be bound by oath or affirmation to support it, defend it. So, that's it, right? That's in the most simplest terms that I can explain it. That's how this works. Angie Buck on YouTube. What if an assembly was hijacked? There is no assembly. That's the problem. It's just the people. It's a pool of the people. There is no assembly. That's the problem. That's the lie. Simply just the people peaceably assembling. That's it. We come together. We don't need to do General Assembly or the American State National Assemblies. There is no assembly. Show me the law. Anyone who says they're organizing and creating assemblies is a fraud. There is no such thing. I have yet to find anywhere in any law that says anything about setting up these general assemblies. These assemblies. Yes, we have the right to assemble, meaning where people gather and peaceably assemble, but that's not an assembly. The General Assembly, which was first created in 1620, which would be the Charter of Virginia. Where's the Charter of Virginia? Alright, maybe it's down here. That's the Third Charter of Virginia, 1611. Second Charter, 1609. Oh, yeah, Ordinances of Virginia, 1621. Okay. So in the ordinance, right? To all people to whom these presents shall come, be seen or heard, the treasurer, council, and company of adventurers and planners of the city of London for the first colony of Virginia, Send greeting. Know ye that we, the said Treasurer, Council, and Company, take into our careful consideration the present state of the said colony of Virginia, the present state of being, and intending by the divine assistance to settle such a form of government there as may be to the greatest benefit and comfort of the people, and whereby all injustices, grievances, and oppression may be prevented and kept up as much as possible from the said colony, have thought fit to make our entrance by ordering and establishing such supreme councils as may not only be assisting to the governor for the time being in the administration of justice and the executing of the duties to his office belonging, but also by their vigilant care and prudence, may provide as well as a remedy for all inconveniences growing from time to time, as also for advancing of increased strength, stability, and prosperity of the said colony. Okay? We therefore, the said Treasury Council Company, by authority directed to us from His Majesty under the Great Seal, upon mature deliberation, do hereby order and declare that from henceforward there shall be 2 supreme councils in Virginia, for the better government of the said colony aforesaid, the one of which councils to be called the Council of State, and whose office shall chiefly be assisting with their care, advice, and circumspection to the said governor, shall be chosen, nominated, placed, and displaced from time to time by us, the said Treasurer, Council, and Company, and our successors, which Council of State shall consist for the present only these persons, as are here inserted: Sir Francis Wyatt, Captain Francis West, so there's those persons there, right? The other council, more generally to be called by the governor once yearly and no oftener, but for very extraordinary and important occasions, shall consist for the present of the said Council of State and of 2 burgesses out of every town, 100, or other particular plantation to be respectively chosen by the inhabitants, which council shall be called the General Assembly. This is the legislative branch. So there is no assembly in the sense of the people. The only assembly, the General Assembly, is the legislative branch of government, the elected people. That's the assembly, is the elected officials in the legislative branch. So, I don't know why there's so much confusion on this. So I hope that clears things up for people out there. You know, I mean, it's pretty simple how our form of government is. And it's right here in writing too. You know, look at your state constitution. Here's our state of being. The preamble: we, the people, state of Idaho, the people, we're grateful to Almighty God for our freedom, but to secure its blessings and promote our common welfare, do establish this Constitution. We've got to have the people. And the legislative department, there's your General Assembly as a member of the legislative branch. Sean out here on Facebook says, can really hear the frustration in my voice. Really? Can you really hear the frustration? Because this is so simple and I've been saying it for years. And I actually thought maybe that I had found one that was legitimate and that was the way we were supposed to be doing things. And then come to find out, nobody knows the law. Nobody can cite the law that says, yeah, here's the law that we followed. You know, I mean, let's look at the very first thing that was actually created, which would be the Northwest Ordinance of 1787. Let's see. Right here. There we go. Section 9 of the Northwest Ordinance. So soon as there shall be 5,000 free male inhabitants of full age in the district, upon giving proof thereof to the governor, they shall receive authority with time and place to elect a representative from their counties or townships to represent them in the General Assembly. There's the law, the letter of the law that says we have to give notice to the governor. Gee, when you register to vote, that's giving notice to the governor that you're one of the people. We got to remember, this is new, right? This is a new territory that is going to be admitted to the Union at this time. But I'm showing you how simple it is. And Art, I see you, brother Art. Fourth branch of government. No, this is the first branch of government. This has to come first. Right? In order of things. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. How in the hell does the Constitution get created, the instrument of government, without the people? We have to have the people first. So we're not the fourth branch of government, we're the first branch of government. Which is when we elect our representatives, it comes from the pool of the people that are assembled, peaceably assembled, in a pool, in a group, not as in a general assembly. They stole that from the General Assembly, which is in fact the legislative branch of government. But it's just it's so simple, it's stupid simple. Oh my goodness. Spooky Rick Mulder over here on Rumble. I'm a non-resident alien of the United States. Okay, are you an inhabitant? Are you one of the people? Or are you a citizen? Because those are the only three lawful political statuses. Straight from the Law of Nations, Book 1, Chapter 19, subsection 212 and 213. Which one of those three, because those are the only lawful ones? That non-resident alien of the United States comes from the United States Code, which is Roman civil law, a foreign jurisdiction, which did exist, does not exist at the time. So again, just stupid. Don't even know what the hell you're reading and what you're claiming. So, there it is. Are you one of the people or not? Well, re-inhabited republic. uh, no, Harold. No, Harold. Even the Northwest Ordinance says, so soon as there shall be 5,000 free male inhabitants. Inhabitant is the proper diction. Now, okay. That no person be eligible or qualified to act as representative unless he shall have been a citizen of one of the United States 3 years and been a resident in the district, or unless he shall have resided in the district 3 years, and in either case shall likewise hold in his own right in fee simple 200 acres of land within the same. Provided also that a freehold in 50 acres of land in the district, having been a citizen of one of the states and being resident in the district of like freehold and 2 years residence in the district, shall be necessary to qualify a man as an elector of a representative. Now, what they're talking about, proper diction and the meanings of that word is the people. Section 213, that there's a different kind of citizen. We call that the people, so that we can eliminate any confusion, because again, all political power is inherent in the people. So, knowing that there's two different kinds of citizens. But look at it. It's all over in here. That for every 500 free male inhabitants, there shall be one representative. And so on progressively with the number of free male inhabitants. Inhabitants. So, where are the inhabitants? Where are the people? I mean, it's even. I mean, it's right in the federal constitution. The House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of the several states. Who are the people of the several states? And the electors in each state shall have the qualifications for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislature. No person shall be a representative who shall not attain the age of 25 years and been 7 years a citizen of the United States. So that's that. Been a citizen of one of the states that has united, not to be confused with the corporate United States, Inc. But it's right there in the Constitution. They just left out the word one of the United States. And who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of the state in which he shall be chosen. So that can get kind of confusing if you don't know the distinctions between what an inhabitant is and what is one of the citizens of the United States. See, what this is saying is you have to have 7 years of experience basically in government, more specifically like the legislative branch, or you could have been a sheriff, some sort of member of the legislative, executive, or judicial branch for 7 years to qualify. And notice that it's 7 years and that you've got to be 25. So 18 to 25, that's 7 years. That's why it's 25 and 7. And that's what they're saying. And shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of the state in which he shall be chosen. You have to be one of the people, not an inhabitant. And you got to have 7 years experience. Oh, wow. I mean, it's right here in plain language. It's just a matter of whether we comprehend it as we read it. But again, reading means reading, and you have to comprehend what we read. It's the same thing with what we call the Senate, right? No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained the age of 35 years and been 9 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state for which he shall be chosen. I mean, right? We get an inhabitant. It's right there. So go back to the law of nations, law, real law. Book 1, chapter 19, section 212 and 213. And we see the distinction between an inhabitant that's a different kind of citizen. So 212 defines a citizen basically as a public servant. let's do this. Let's just pull that up because sometimes people actually need to read it. Huh. I guess that's where I left off right there at section 212. So let's read the beginning of this. This is chapter 19. Book 1, chapter 19, Law of Nations, or the principles of the laws of nature as applied to the conduct of nations. This is in fact part of the common law, the American common law. We have a little bit of an issue with my aha, it got bumped. Sorry about that. Hopefully that should fix that. Thank you, Fix It Fast, for bringing that up. All right, so back up over there. We'll make this nice and big. So, of our native country and several things that relate to it. What is our country? The whole of the countries possessed by a nation and subject to its laws forms, as we've already said, its territory, and is the common country of all the individuals of the nation. Wait a minute. Of all of the countries possessed by a nation. Wait a minute. Doesn't that mean that what we call states are actually countries? Because the nation is called America. It's the United States of America. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. One nation. A nation is composed of all of the countries possessed by the nation. So we're actually countries. That's why we have our own flags, what we call state flags. So yeah, we've been dumbed down again. Right here, from the law, what is our country? America is not a country. America is a nation. North America is a continent. Ah. We have been obliged to anticipate the definition of the term native country in section 122 because our subject led us to treat of the love of our country, a virtue so excellent and so necessary in a state. Country, state. Supposing then this definition already known, it remains that we should explain several things that have a relation to this subject and answer the questions that naturally arise from it. Citizens and natives. The citizens are the members of the civil society. Oh, you mean members of government? Bound to the society by certain duties. It's not a right, but it's a duty. Huh. And subject to its authority, they equally participate in its advantages. Oh, come on, knock it off. What does this Article 6, Constitution of the United States of America here? It says the senators and representatives before mentioned and the members of the several state legislators, so these are all members, and all executive and judicial, they're all members of the legislative, executive, and judicial, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. But the key word is bound and members. That's exactly the same exact words from the Law of Nations, Book 1, Chapter 19, Section 212 of what a citizen is. Are you a member of the legislative or executive or judicial branch, state or federal, and that you are bound to support the Constitution? Then you're a citizen. If you are not, you are one of the people, which is a different kind of citizen, which we'll look at it a little bit different in Section 213. Because we're not bound to perform certain duties. We don't have an oath of office. We don't have the advantages or emoluments of an office. The natives, or natural-born citizens, are those born in the country of parents who are citizens. As a society cannot exist and perpetuate itself otherwise than by the children of the citizens. Those children naturally follow the condition of their fathers and succeed to all their rights. The society is supposed to desire this in consequence of what it owes to its own preservation, and it is presumed, as a matter of course, that each citizen on entering into society reserves to his children the right of becoming members of it. So this gets rid of anchor babies, because the country of the fathers is therefore that of the children, and these become true citizens merely by their what? Tacit consent. We shall soon see whether on their coming to the years of discretion they may renounce their right and what they owe to the society in which they were born. I say that in order to be of the country, it is necessary that a person be born of a father who is a citizen, for if he is born there of a foreigner, it will be only the place of his birth and not his country. Gee, where are you at, Supreme Court of the United States of America, on citing the law when it comes to children that are born here of foreigners? No, they do not automatically become citizens of the United States. It is only their place of birth. Unless they're a lawful American, then no. Their children follow the conditions of the father, wherever the father is from. Did he renounce his citizenship from where he was born and declare that he was going to settle here and become one of the people, an American? Oh, no. Then his children are not Americans. Sorry, it's only the place of birth. I don't understand how that's so hard to comprehend. It's in writing, in the clear and plain language of the law of nations. It's right there, in writing. Now, when we get to section 213, the inhabitants, as distinguished from citizens, are foreigners who are permitted to settle and stay in the country, bound to the society by their residence. Oh my God! The word residence is right there in the frickin' law. They are subject to the laws of the state while they reside in it, and they are obliged to defend it because it grants them protection. Though they do not participate in all the rights of citizens. Right. Like, oh, I don't know, are you a governor? Are you a representative or a senator? Or, oh, that's right. You're not one of them. Only enjoy the advantages which the law or custom gives them. So the law is the common law, which includes the laws of nature, the actual American common law, which was, yes, when right there in that Ordinance of Virginia, we brought the common law, the English common law with them when they came over, but then we started the American common law. And this is written in several books all throughout everything. Even in Mason's Manual of Legislative Procedure, talks about the American common law. Not to be confused with the English common law. So, but let's continue reading here. The perpetual inhabitants are those who have received the right of perpetual residence. These are a kind of citizens of an inferior order and are united to the society without participating in all its advantages. Oh, you mean the people? So where it says you shall not be an inhabitant, blah, 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 blah. Again, there's 3 different statuses right here, right from the law, not only in the law of nations, but it's directly in the Constitution as well. It's almost like they read the law of nations and they pulled the verbiage, the diction, jurisdiction, words, right out of this law, body of law, and used it in context in the Constitution itself. Wait. Yeah, they did. That's where it comes from. And where it talks about the president, right? The president has to be what? No person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible for the office of president. You have to be a natural-born citizen. Now, I'm pretty sure they've already taken that out. Let's see. It used to. It used to be in here when you're talking about the natural born citizen. It said Vattel 212, subsection 212. But of course they had to change all that because they don't want us to know about the law of nations. But that's right there in the law of nations, the natural born citizen. You know, the natives. The natives, or natural born citizens, are those born in the country of parents who are citizens. There you have it. So you can't just be an inhabitant. And oh, wait. One more source of law to show you from. In the Articles of Confederation. Article 4 of the Articles of Confederation. The better to secure and perpetuate mutual friendship and intercourse among the people of the different states of this union, the free inhabitants of each of these states, paupers, vagabonds, and fugitives from justice excepted, shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of free citizens in the several states, and the people of each state shall free ingress and regress to and from any other state, shall enjoy therein the privileges of trade and commerce, subject to the same duties, impositions, restrictions as the inhabitants thereof respectively. Oh, wait, what? So right in the Articles of Confederation, we have free inhabitants, we have the free citizens, we have the people. Oh, there was. I guess that was it. And see here again, what does it say? The style of this confederacy shall be the United States of America. We are a confederacy. We are a confederate republic. We're not a democracy. We're not an aristocracy. We're a confederacy. See? CCC. Democracy, aristocracy, confederacy. See? I had somebody try to tell me that a confederacy is not a republican form of government. Read Montesquieu. Comprehend the C part. CCC. Democracy, aristocracy, confederacy. That's a form of a republican form of government. Otherwise, we have a despotic government. But, you know, ours confederation and perpetual union between the states of. A union is a league of friendship. The said states hereby severally enter into a firm league of friendship with each other for their common defense, the security of their liberties, and the mutual and general welfare, binding themselves to assist each other against all force offered to and or attacks made upon them or any of them on account of religion, sovereignty, trade, or any other pretense whatever. Friendship. A league of friendship is a union. Union is a confederacy. We are a confederate republic. That is our republican form of government. Because even the Constitution, what does it say? In the preamble, what does the preamble read? We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. In order to form a more perfect, which meaning we already had a perfect union, a confederacy. This was only in order to form a more perfect. We still have a Confederate Republic. Because if we're not a Confederate Republic, then why do we have different states of the Union? We wouldn't have a union, and we wouldn't have different states of a union. Now, would we? I know, it gets a little complicated, but it's not. So back to 213. The perpetual habitants, or the free citizens, are those who have received the right of perpetual residence. These are a kind of citizens of an inferior and are united to the society without participating in all its advantages. Their children follow the conditions of their fathers, and as the state has given to these the right of perpetual residence, their right passes to their posterity. Oh. Well, there you have it. Straight from the letter of the law, what the clear distinctions are between a citizen, an inhabitant, and the people. Every bit of the law has just been laid before you. All it takes is for you to read it, comprehend it, and then understand it. As in, stand in agreement. Now, anywhere it says American State National, I can't seem to find American State National here. Can somebody please point out where American State National comes from here? You know, from the letter of the law itself, the real law. This is law of nations. This is law. I don't understand how people can deny this law. And then people will say, well, how does the law of nations apply to this to America? Because it's the law of nations. Is America a nation? Then it's the law of this nation. But I've also shared a video there from the Virginia Law School where the High Zoot guys up there are talking about how the law of nations is part of the common law. But just so we're clear, Article 1, Legislative Branch, Section 8, Clause 10. To define and punish piracies and felonies committed on high seas and offenses against the law of nations. I'll be darned, it's right in the Constitution. So there you have it. I'm looking at some comments here just to see if anybody had any questions out there. Can I send the man acting as a judge some of this information through email correspondence, and would it be the same as a paper trail? Well, first of all, that would be ex parte communication. No, you cannot send privately to acting as a judge. Everything must be done properly. There's steps, due process of law. You know, a lot of people talk about sui juris, of being lawful age, of sound mind, and perfectly capable of handling their administrative duties, which is the paperwork. You got to do the paperwork to effectively defend yourself. But welcome to the club, John Wick. That's, you know, everybody's being subjected to this crap. But we got to do the proper paperwork, and it's got to be filed timely. No, I mean, basic fundamentals. All right, let's look. Whoops. Rules of procedure. Let's look at the criminal just real quick here. When we're looking at Rule 12, pleadings and pretrial motions. How do you plead? Pleadings in criminal proceeding or an indictment. Information that pleads of not guilty, guilty, or nolo contendere. Party may raise by pretrial motion any defense, objection, or request that the court can determine without a trial on the merits. Motion be made at any time. A motion that the court lacks jurisdiction may be made at any time while the case is pending. So, for a lack of jurisdiction, it can be raised at any time. But the following defenses, objection, request must be raised by pretrial motion if the basis for the motion is then reasonably available and the motion can be determined without a trial on the merits. The most alleged defect in instituting the prosecution, including improper venue, pre-indictment delay. Where's the indictment? A violation of the constitutional right to a speedy trial, selective or vindictive prosecution, an error in the grand jury proceeding or preliminary hearing, a defect in the indictment or information, including joining two or more offenses in the same count, charging the same offense in more than one count, lack of specificity, improper joinder, failure to state an offense. C, suppression of evidence because it was unlawfully obtained. Severance of charges or defendants or discovery. Motion for discovery. You know? Consequences of not making a timely motion under Rule 12b3. If a party does not meet the deadline for making a Rule 12b3 motion, the motion is untimely. But a court may consider the defense, objection, or request if the party shows good cause. So, there you go, John Wick. Did you follow the steps of due process of law? And do your paperwork in a timely manner? Now, on the criminal side, it doesn't really break this down real well. But I'm going to tell you right now, on the civil side, it does. It makes a lot more sense when you read Rule 12 on the civil, so you really get it on the civil. It's almost confusing reading the criminal side. Now, a defendant must serve an answer unless another time is specified by a federal statute. Time for serving a responsive pleading is as follows. In general, a defendant must serve an answer within 21 days after being served with the summons and complaint. If it has timely waived service within 60 days of the party must serve an answer to a counterclaim or cross-claim within 21 days after being served with the pleading that states the counterclaim or cross-claim. A party must serve a reply to an answer within 21 days after being served with an ordered reply unless order specifies different time. How to present defenses. Every defense to a claim for relief in any pleading must be asserted in the responsive pleading if one is required. But a party may assert the following defenses by motion: lack of subject matter jurisdiction, lack of personal jurisdiction. See, the thing is, there really isn't different rules of procedure for criminal and civil, because it's all supposed to be pursuant to the course of the common law. Oh, that's right. Wouldn't that be in that Northwest Ordinance? Oh, wait, I'm in the Northwest Ordinance. Right? This is the Northwest Ordinance. Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. The inhabitants of the said territory shall always be entitled to the benefits of the writ of habeas corpus and of the trial by a jury, of a proportionate representation of the people in the legislature, and of judicial proceedings according to the course of the common law. Uh-oh. That's because the common law is the law. And we're supposed to be following due process of law in accordance with the common law. Wait a minute. Would that be them? Would that be a defect in the indictment or information, including lack of specificity, failure to state an offense for which relief can be granted, because there's no crime? In order for there to be a crime, there must be a victim, the injured party, the real party of interest or in interest. Now, in the Idaho rules, this is the Idaho criminal rules. Defense is based on defects in the prior proceedings in the prosecution. Defenses and objections based on defects in the complaint, indictment, or information other than it fails to show jurisdiction of the court to charge an offense which objections may be made at any time during the pendency of the proceedings. So, again, is there any defects? Do you have any objections? Got to be down on paper, because that's the first fundamental principle of due process of law. You have to give notice and opportunity to respond. They have 21 days to respond to your motion. And it's either a motion to suppress, if you're claiming rights violations, that it was unlawful, they say illegally obtained. No, unlawfully obtained. We go by the rule of law, not the rule of man. So it is unlawfully obtained. They didn't follow the law. They didn't follow the law, then that's unlawful. It's not full of law. Okay? Does that make sense out there, folks? John Wick? Well, yeah, better get your paperwork done. So, again, back to this whole, the different statuses, you know. Again, the people, we have the inhabitants, the perpetual inhabitants, which are the different kind of citizens. Those different kind of citizens are the people. And then the capital C in their proper noun, proper person, governor, representative, senator, sheriff, county commissioner, right? Those are all the capital C citizens. So, Mark, what are they using now versus the common law? Roman civil law, the code. That's it. That's that, you know. In the Declaration of Independence, right? That he has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, given his assent to their acts of pretended legislation. We're back to the same thing again. This is just a repeat of history, folks. It's not like this hasn't happened before. They love that Roman civil law, the code, because then they have that blanket authority to make whatever legislation they want. But when it comes to the common law, they do not. They do not have that authority. So, that's the law that we're being subjected to, that foreign jurisdiction, a foreign body of law, the Roman civil law, the code, you know, Idaho Code, United States Code, Code of Federal Regulations, Uniform Commercial Code, 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 code. Code is Roman civil law. No, Doug, the code is not more like guidelines. It's a separate jurisdiction, a body of fundamental law. There are three bodies of fundamental law. You have the Roman civil law, the code, then you have feudal law, and then we have common law. Pick one. That's the real issue, the real problem. At the root of all law, at the root of the problem, you know, like when we look at a tree, you can trim off some of the leaves, you can trim off some of the little sub branches, you can even trim off a branch, but the tree is still going to live until you uproot the tree and get rid of the roots of the tree. It will still grow. So unless we completely uproot this Roman civil law, the code, which is exactly where national comes from, and just don't even freaking get it. Roman civil law. Hey, I'm changing my political status to take myself out of the system, but I'm gonna use their codes, their corporate bylaws, to correct my status according to their. Yeah, you're putting yourself right back in under their own crap that you're claiming that you're getting yourself out of, and it's not even a legitimate political status, lawful status. But hey, to each their own. It's sad that people get duped and don't ask the simple question of, show me the law. I'm a show me kind of guy. You're going to have to show me the letter of the law, mostly because I have studied law and history of law since 1995. So I kind of have, you know, a little bit of an idea about what the hell I'm talking about. I mean, at least a little bit, right? You would think, because I know things because I read, or Ruben and Linda, then they got me a little poster. So I know things because I read, or I read things so I know things, something like that. You know, reading means reading. So, yeah, I happen to know a couple of things here and there, but I'm still a show me kind of guy. Oh, funny guy, Doug. Saying it was a joke. Gotcha. Yep, picking up what you're laying down there, Doug. Sorry. But there are other people who seem to think the code is legitimate. So, but you're fighting with AI, huh, Mark? Yeah. Yeah, Eric Bitzer, 5247 out on YouTube. Law of nations equals the common law. Yeah, I shared that video out there quite a while ago. right here on the show and in the Telegram channel. But yeah, excuse me, Virginia. There's a law school out there in Virginia. Interesting that it was Virginia. But they're all talking about how the law of nations is part of the common law. So, admitting it. It's crazy because I've been saying this for quite some time. And I just came across that video one day and was like, holy crap. All right. Somebody else saying it that has what the people would recognize as, you know, a higher authority than me, per se. Because, you know, I'm just some redneck from Podunk, Idaho. I don't know anything. But yeah. All right, folks. I'm going to call it a night tonight. Thank you all for being here, and I want to thank all of my followers. Make sure you like, follow, and share. And if you'd like to help support, links in the bio there or in the description. Over on Patreon, buy me a coffee. Again, I want to thank everybody over on Patreon and those that have supported through Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you, Fix It Fast, and some of the others over here, Diesel D's, Jacqueline, Wendy, Tamra. Yeah, those over on Wednesday Night Workshop. Thanks, everybody over there. Jim, Jen. I know you're going to get upset for missing somebody over there, but I apologize. Yes, thank you all for being here and for your love and your support. Much love back to the rest of you. And God bless America. God bless the world. And man, we got to come together. I'm just going to keep reiterating this. We got to do it. There's no other way around it. That is at the root of what we have to do. And unless we have the pool of the people, that we have nothing. Okay? So God bless. Much love, everybody. Have a wonderful night. And Wednesday night, we'll see you over there. Wednesday night workshop. And see you back here next Monday.